Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Xgene and proteinX. In this tutorial video, I'll talk about Miniprep protocol and the principle. So you know that what is a Miniprep? So Miniprep is a process of plasmid DNA extraction from the bacteria, basically from the E. coli. So here I'll talk briefly about the protocol and also in detail about the principle. So let's begin. So first, when you took overnight culture the bacteria, so the bacteria containing the plasmid. So after culturing the bacteria, when you transfer the bacteria into the 1.5 ml tube and then centrifuge for 12,000 rpm for 1 to 2 minutes, and we need to collect these pellets, cell pellets. So basically all of the media, liquid media or the supernatant need to be discarded, and we need the cell pellets. So this is the step one. So after discarding all of the media, we need to very carefully need to remove all of the liquid or supernatant, and you will get the cell pellets, and here you need to add the buffer P1 250 microliter. That is called the resuspension buffer. So the resuspension buffer, the recipe here, you can check here the recipe. And next you have to vortex. So you have to vortex until or unless all of the cell pellets resuspend. So you need to check very carefully that all of the cell pellets should be homogeneously mixed in the buffer, right? And the principle is here, and the resuspension buffer contain this is actually this buffer. The the main function of this buffer is to homogeneously mix the pellets, and it contains also the trees. And the trees, we know that trees is it act as a buffer, so it provides a stable buffering environment. And it also contain the EDTA. So EDTA, it is the divalent cation chelator or chelating agent that binds to the magnesium ion or other metal ions in the solution. And also it contains RNase A. So RNase A basically a enzyme that degrades the cellular RNA, so which would otherwise contaminate the final step. So basically we don't need the RNA, so this is why RNase A, it degrades the RNA. So next is the step 2. So step 2 is the after getting this the solution from the step 1, you need to add immediately 250 microliter lysis buffer. So lysis buffer, it is the alkaline and pH is 12, and here you don't need to do in vortex because this is very much because there are a lot of things happening, and there are a lot of stuffs in that insoluble particles. So if you vortex, all mix together. So very gently and slowly invert the tube up and down to mix thoroughly. So this is how you need to hold the tube, and you need to invert the tube up and down, and you need to mix slowly but no vortex. And here is the recipe of the buffer P2. So buffer P2 is the lysis buffer. So lysis buffer containing the sodium hydroxide and SDS. So the principle is here, the SDS, we know the SDS acts as a detergent. So this SDS is solubilizes the phospholipid or lipid layer of the cell membrane. So it breaks down or it slices all of the cells. So it allows to release the cellular content into the solution. And the sodium hydroxide, it is a strong base, so it acts as a denaturing agent. So sodium hydroxide, it denature the plasmid DNA and genomic DNA. So here we know that in the DNA base there are the hydrogen bond. So in the denaturation process, this all of the hydrogen bonds break down, and all of the plasmid and genomic DNA is denatured. So basically the the bacteria, it has the plasmid DNA as well as the genomic DNA. But the genomic DNA contain a lot of genes, and we don't need their genomic DNA. So this is why in this step we need to discard, we need to destroy or lyse all of the genomic DNA. So after denaturation process, the plasmid DNA, this is small and this is circular. This is why it can be renatured again. But the genomic DNA, this is very long, and there are a lot of genes, and this is very large structure, and is very big structure. So this is what actually genomic DNA, it cannot be renatured in the next step, and it can be lysed and precipitate in the solution. So next is the step 3. So here, after getting the solution from the step 2, and then you need to add 350 microliter neutralization buffer. So this is bit the acidic, and the pH is 5 around, and here is also no vortex. Slowly invert the tube up and down, and this is the recipe of this neutralization buffer. So it contains the potassium acetate. So potassium acetate, it is acidic, and this is what it neutralizes this pH, because in the buffer 2, after adding the buffer 2, the pH is higher, 12, and here it neutralizes this pH. So after neutralization, so renaturation occurs of the double-stranded DNA. So here, after renaturation, the all of this primary structure of the DNA that lysed and that denatured, then all of this primary structure of the plasmid DNA, it got back in this step. So here, this is because the plasmid DNA is very small and circular. This is what actually it's possible to get back their primary structure in the renaturation process. But the genomic DNA is very large, and it's not possible for them to get back the primary structure. And then the genomic DNA, it is precipitate. So why? So here you can see, after addition of this buffer P3, you can see there are a lot of insoluble particles. So these are the white precipitation. So this white precipitation, it traps this all of these denatured genomic DNA. So this white precipitation, these are the KDAs, or potassium dodecyl sulfate. So here, this is the HDS, and the HDS it react with the potassium acetate, and it form potassium dodecyl sulfate, or KDS, and this KDS is the insoluble particles. So next is the step 4. So step 4, so in this process you need to centrifuge to pellets all of these insoluble particles, and all of the KDAs and denatured genomic DNA, protein, lyse, cell membrane, cell debris, all trapped in the KDAs. And then you can get the plasmid DNA from your clear solution. So the clear solution, you need to transfer it into the spin column. The spin column, it is actually the silica membrane. So the silica membrane, it actually bind with the negative DNA, and all of the flow through and liquid, it pass through. So we don't need this liquid, because all of this flow through containing the DNA that bind with the silica membrane. So in the next step, we need to collect, or we need to elute your DNA. So the next process is into washing with the ethanol. So the ethanol containing, also this washing buffer contain the ethanol. So this wash buffer, it wash out the proteins, impurities, and also some other salts. And the ethanol that dehydrate, and also it increase the binding between the silica and DNA. And in the step 6, you need to elution buffer you need to add. So here, after addition of the elution buffer, you can see that all of the breakdown occurs in between silica and the DNA, and the DNA, it dissolved into the elution buffer. So this is all about the principle and